What a pro. His voice sounded like it shifted 3 whole octaves. That guy's the real Mishi, no doubt about it. But when he's out of costume, he's not even from the same universe. Well, that was something. I feel like we just uncovered one of Crossbell's dirtiest secrets. Anyway, let's go meet up with the others, shall we? She pissed off. Yeah, she like, bro. Never meet your heroes. All right. Move faster, y'all. She's still speechless. Yo, Lloyd, something happened to Teal'c? She's been like that ever since we got back on the cruise ship. You're right. It's like she's staring off into empty space. Off into space. Eyes empty. I believe that's what we call the look of desolation. Let's just say she's been through a lot today. Tio, are you sick? Should we take you to see a doctor? No, I will survive. I was a bit bewildered, but I believe I managed to come to terms with it. This is merely a single rung on the ladder to adulthood. I love it, man. All right. Okay. Yeah, I think we have, let's see here. Yeah, we're going to do this one next. Chief Tolta, situation in the village. We are requesting that you investigate into the suspicious merchant. Okay, interesting. All right. I think he's talking about Harold. I should have just fast traveled here, but we weren't really thinking about it. Should be about to get something good. Guess we got to go over 200. Yeah. Damn, keep forgetting you got to go outside. All right, let's head to the residential district and speak to the Hayworths. I think this is their house right here, right? Yep. All right. Excuse us. You put in a request for the special support section? Hello there, SSS. I can't tell you how glad I am that you're here to help with this again. Yes, thank you very much for coming. Can you tell us what happened since yesterday, Chief Tolta? I understand there was a new development in the case. Yes, that's correct. I feel the situation is more dire than we originally thought. I'd like to discuss it in depth with you all right away. Would that be all right? All right. Right now it's fine. Please fill us in on details. You mentioned that the situation has changed since yesterday. That it has. Yesterday evening, I went to the Ash Tree Inn in another attempt to persuade Derek. I told him that the Minnith character was far too suspicious and that he had to break ties with him. You didn't beat around the bush then, huh? Not for a second. But in the end, Derek still refused to listen. However, I did learn something new. And so I hurried here to discuss the matter with Mr. Hayworth. Something new? Has Minnith taken some form of action? What Chief Tolta told me caught me off guard, if I may be frank. Minnith's grip on the village is far tighter than we've given it credit for. Would you mind elaborating? From what we learned yesterday, several villagers already trust him. Has it gone further than that? Well, you see, Minnith has not only secured the private property of Old Amorca Road, but also the deeds to numerous plots and fields in the village itself. Oh shit, he what? As shocking as that is, one question comes to mind. How was he able to pull off something that big? Good question. From what we know, Minnith pitched a plan to increase Amorca's lotus production, as he puts it. By slowly accumulating deeds to the villagers' farmland, he would expand the lotus fields and streamline their harvest. Moreover, management of the plots themselves would be contracted to the Quincy Company to reduce the required labor. That is stupid. That does line up with what we heard yesterday. At first blush, it sounds like a pretty good deal for the villagers. It is not. Yeah, too good to be true. As long as those deeds are in Minnith's hands, he can abuse the land in any way he wants. There'd be no coming back from that. Correct? Indeed, the man cannot be trusted by any means. Had he solely focused on the private property of ours, even the worst case scenario wouldn't be too terrible. But now that he's using plots of land within the village, the results could be catastrophic. You guys might be shit out of luck when it comes to breaking that contract, though. That's where you come in. If you can expose him, then perhaps the contract can be voided. I know there's nothing criminal happening on the surface here, but even still, can we ask you to look into this? Well, the SSS has never actually been all that beholden to CPD protocol. Our job is to support the citizens when they request it. You've given us enough reason to find Minnith suspicious, so we'll gladly help. Thank you, Detective Bannings. All of you have been our village's guardian angels. Where should we begin the investigation? I'm at a bit of a loss on that myself. Me too. It's not as if we have any smoking guns to look into. True. In that case, why not ask Ian for assistance? Do you mean Mr. Grimwood? Yes. Granted, we're only working off our suspicions at the moment, but if you explain the situation to Ian, he may be able to find a trace of something illicit in Minnith's actions. That sounds like a good idea. Even a shred of evidence against Minnith would be a good starting point for the investigation. I should warn you though, Ian's been incredibly busy ever since the mayor advocated for our independence. There's no guarantee he'll have time to see you. Only one way to find out, off to the Grimwood Law Office. Maybe we'll catch him, maybe we won't. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Yeah, let's go pay him a visit. We'll leave you to it then. I'll ask my business associates if they've heard any rumors about Minnith or the Quincy Company. We would appreciate that. Thank you, everyone. You're the only ones I can count on. I'm so powerless in all of this. It's just pathetic to me. Don't worry, Chief Tolton. We'll handle it from here. You just sit tight and relax. And maybe pray to the goddess for good luck while you're at it. Very well. I'll be waiting. I'll be waiting for you. All right. So, head over to Grimwoods. Look like he's just chilling. Oh, Mr. Grimwood. We were afraid you might have been out of the office. Ah, yes. I was just in the middle of taking a much-needed break. Oh, okay. But it would seem that you're in desperate need of my counsel. Is it really that obvious? I've seen those looks on your faces coming through my door countless times by now. Please, take a seat. I might be busy, but I'm happy to lend you an ear. Our apologies, and thank you. Lloyd and the SSS explained what they learned about Minnith and his actions throughout the past 24 hours. They also mentioned that Minnith had been collecting deeds to plots of land in Amorca village. I see. This is quite a predicament the village has found itself in. A case such as this would typically be a top priority for me. But as you know, I've been busy this past week drafting up a preliminary constitution for the mayor. I apologize, but I won't have the time to handle this case personally. That's unfortunate, but we understand. We suspected that would be the case. Still, even just a consultation would be helpful. Very well. I'll give you any advice I can while you're here. We appreciate it, Mr. Grimwood. So, do you have any insight on this? At this point, there's no evidence of Minnith engaging in any unlawful activity, at least as far as I can tell. As we can tell. Is there something we're missing? I do have one idea. Damn, already? Possibly. An Erebonian contact of mine once provided me with some reference material for a very similar case. Though I can't say the circumstances are an exact match. Any lead that can help us with the investigation is a good one. If you think this other case is worth mentioning, we'd be happy to hear about it. Very well. I can hardly refuse you all. From what I can recall, several years ago, a man visited the estate of an Erebonian baron. He introduced himself as Rittner, an enterprising businessman working for a famous brewing company. Rittner presented the baron with an opportunity to become rich beyond his wildest dreams, and quickly at that. He proposed that the baron's barley fields, which have been passed down the family for generations, be used to establish a brewery. The facilities would be constructed on the barony, and his family would be responsible for managing them. That was the idea anyway. Hold on a second. What you're telling us is awfully reminiscent of what's going down in Amorica. The baron accepted the deal and signed Render's contract. Then, under the pretense of constructing the brewery, man, the fields and a portion of the baron's land were temporarily transferred to Rittner. Moreover, the baron converted his assets into capital for the sake of getting the business off the ground. However, Rittner soon disappeared with both the deeds and the capital never to be seen again. The hell? The baron and his family panicked after suddenly losing contact with Rittner. At the time, they had no idea of the gravity that was about to unfold. To their shock and surprise, they learned Rittner had sold the deeds to a third party. The land was to be repurposed into a villa resort. Today, it stands as part of a suburb instead. In the end, the baron's family racked up a substantial debt. Before long, they had lost their entire territory. With that, the family was stripped of their rank, and they vanished without a trace. I think that's Josette and her family. I can't think of her last name right now. It is the Kapua. Yeah, the Kapua family. I think that's who that is that he's talking about. I don't remember if the guy's name was Rittner, but I do remember that her family had they had money and her brothers and everything, and they basically, the family ended up not necessarily vanishing, but they became sky pirates. But I think that's Josette and her family, if I'm not mistaken. Damn, that's one hell of a story. That man conned them into giving up their property and sold it right under their noses. Who would even do such a thing? Oh, there's plenty of people that'll do it. Your investigation immediately reminded me of that case. One person lies to earn another's trust before running off with a large fortune. It's a common strategy for committing fraud. Fraud? If this case is the same, then Minnith may not be a Quincy Company employee after all. He would simply be a con man trying to swindle Amorica for all they're worth. Precisely. I can't say for certain if that's the case here, but I'm concerned it might be. I agree. There are too many parallels between that story and our case. So this is the guy, huh? I wonder if this is the guy that actually did it to Josette's family. It'd be best if we shifted our focus to investigating this as a potential act of fraud. That changes the kinds of leads we should be looking into. Exactly. As far as Minnith goes, there are two major areas that stand out to me as suspicious. First, that plan of his. We need to find out whether or not he's actually done anything to establish this American honey company. We could probably figure that out by following the mirror trail. You'd have to apply for a bank loan to open a business in Crossville. If it's all a sham, then we'll be able to we'll find the evidence we need at the IBC. The other point of concern is whether Minnith's actually an employee of the Quincy Company. The Quincy Company's headquarters aren't in Crossville, though, so that would be tough to figure it out. Should be a call. Should be a quick call. That's I may be able to help out with that. We should try stopping by my grandfather's home. The McDowell estate. Why? There should be a brochure about the Quincy Company there. It outlines how the company operates. We'll be able to find some useful information. Okay. What's something like that doing in your grand's pad, Madam Wiley? Well, because I happen to enjoy making sweets, all right? I once took an interest in the Quincy Company, so I ordered one of their brochures. Last I recall, it was on a shelf in my old bedroom. Then again, I doubt a simple brochure would have all the information we need. I wouldn't be so quick to discount the possibility. It's official Quincy Company material. You might be able to find something that conflicts with what Minnith said. Never hurts to cover all your bases. Agreed. Let's try by the McDowell estate too. See how it pans out. Thanks for all the invaluable advice, Mr. Grimwood. Because of you, we finally have some leads to chase down. Always happy to be of service. Just to confirm, you said you were using the Hayworth's residence as a base of operations, yes? Yeah, we are. Very well then. I'll lend you my help with this case for as long as time permits me. Though, unfortunately, I can't make any promises given my other responsibilities. That's not a problem at all. You've already helped us immensely. It's nice having a professional in the neighborhood we can lean on. I'll try to meet up with you at the Hayworths later. Good luck with your investigation until then. Thanks, Mr. Grimwood. Okay, let's get this investigation underway. To start, we'll need to go to IBC and look into Minnith's plan regarding the America Honey Company. It'll be a good idea to swing by the McDowell estate for that brochure too. Something in there might contradict Minnith's words. That gives us a total of 2 leads to follow up on. Roger. We won't rest until we find that evidence. Okay. Since we're already over here near it, we'll just go right back to the residential district and to Ellie's home. Her room is here, right? Or I thought it was. Maybe the other side. Oh, that it? Let's see. Oh, here it is. This is the Quincy Company brochure I mentioned earlier. Dang. They even had this sucker bound. Can't say they didn't put any effort into this thing. They have ample resources to do so, considering the size of the company. Whatever is written inside should be sufficiently credible. Then it's a good thing we stopped by for it. Alright, let's take a closer look inside. As a leader in confectionery manufacturing, the Quincy Company strives tirelessly towards its next innovation. This brochure aims to briefly introduce the methods and creeds that drive our passion. We believe the key aspect of any confectionery is its taste. Otherwise, how could anyone enjoy it? With this belief as a core tenet, the Quincy Company refuses to compromise on the quality of its products. Our factories are fitted with the latest equipment and operated with the utmost attention to hygiene. Here at the Quincy Company, we are particular not about the quality of our ingredients, but where they are sourced as well. Our particular development pipeline, too, is run with the strictest of standards. Prototypes are personally sampled by our executives who, after many meetings, decide whether a product is worthy to go to market. Only then can they reach the production line. This has been a Quincy Company tradition since its founding, such that we may deliver our valuable customers nothing less than the finest confectionaries to enjoy. It is this commitment to excellence that has made the Quincy Company the exceptional confectioner it is today. Okay, I'm not sure what we were expecting. This is all just your typical corporate double talk. Did anybody manage to find a contradiction between this and something Minnith has said? Not in particular. Maybe coming here for this brochure was a waste of time after all. Actually, I did notice something. Of course he would. You did? Oh, I get it. You just deactivated the old detective mode and bam, right? Well, don't leave us hanging. What'd you find? If you remember what Minnith told us at the hotel yesterday, the answer is obvious. It was only a passing remark, but it still comes into a major conflict with what's written in the brochure. Enough to prove that he isn't, in fact, an employee of the Quincy Company to begin with. You got that much out of this out of one little pamphlet? That's right. You see, if Minnith, sorry to cut you off, but where's the fun in spoiling it all now? What are you talking about? Well, if I'm being honest, it's annoying that you're the only one who's figured it out. So why not give the rest of us a chance and save it for when we interrogate Minnith? Wazzy, this is investigation, not some game. I agree with Wazzy, actually. Your hypothesis might not be accurate after all. As a precaution, we shouldn't let ourselves be swayed by a mere hunch. Not to mention, I don't appreciate you stealing the spotlight with your detective mode, as Randy put it. Why do I get the feeling that that second comment was the real reason she didn't want me to share? Fine, we too insist. Instead, I want you all to consider everything that we've learned so far. I'll summarize the main points of the brochure in the detective notebook. All that's left is for us to visit the IBC. Let's see what we can find out there. Lead the way. It's funny. They wanted to be a big ass reveal. Like, all right, let's head to the IBC on a mission try to find Warren G. It just seemed like it clicked. All right, we'll talk to Lon Faye. Hello again, SSS. What can I do for you today? Well, we'd like to ask for the IBC's cooperation with an investigation we're working on. Would it be possible for you to do an account search for us, Lon Faye? We're hoping to look into some suspicious mirror transfers from a certain depositor. If you don't know that line, it's from the song called Regulate by Warren G and Nate Dogg. That's where that came from. I'm showing my age there, but I thought it was funny. You know, sorry. You want me to pull up private information on one of our clients then? Doing so is within company policy if it's related to criminal inquiry. Just pull it up, lady. But would you mind telling me the details of the situation first? Not a problem. Okay, so they told her about the case. I see. I believe I understand the circumstances now. Will this be sufficiently probable cause for us to conduct a search? Cracking down on these kinds of things is in the bank's best interest too. Fraud would damage your reputation. Absolutely it would. You are correct, and this is related to legitimate investigation. I can help, but you'll have to settle for me simply telling you what I can pull up on my terminal screen here. That's more than enough. If you would, please. Very well. All right, first, let me check the account registered under the name Minnith. Click, clack, click, clack. I'm working Honey Company, subsidiary of the Quincy Company. There we are. We do indeed have an account open under that name. Hold on. What happened? Did you find something incriminating? Well, I don't have the authority to tell you the exact balance on the record. But I will say that the American Honey Company has no more than the minimum deposit in its account. Oh, shit. What exactly does that mean? Basically, corporate accounts require an initial sum of capital to open. In this case, the base amount is all there is. From what you've told me, that will leave tens of thousands of mirror unaccounted for. It's not good. Minnith has the construction of the factory, management of fields, and more to cover. It is simply impossible for any minimum deposit to be capable of financing all of that. That much is clear. And despite him holding the titles of land and signing several deals, the balance hasn't changed a single time. It's suspicious, to say the very least. By which I mean, this account appears to be to have been made for the sole purpose of gaining Derek's trust. Things clearly weren't adding up here in more ways than one. Yeah, this is kind of the evidence that we needed. We appreciate your concern. Your cooperation, Latte. Not at all. I'm glad I could be of assistance. Should you ever require anything more, please don't hesitate to ask. We'll keep that in mind. Okay, we now have material on every suspicious activity aspect of Minnith and its plan. Let's make our way to the Hayworth residence. Got it. All right. It's the SSS. There you all are. Mr. Grimwood, I'm glad you can make it. Did you just get back yourself, Mr. Hayworth? Yes, I finished asking my business associates about the matter at hand. How did things go on your end? We were able to round up a few leads thanks to Mr. Grimwood. How about you, Mr. Hayworth? I did just the same in a manner of speaking. You see, I'm not quite sure what to make of it all. Well, you went through the trouble of digging up that info, so you may as well share it with the rest of the class. Agreed. The information may be beneficial to our investigation. I suppose you're right. I asked my business associates if the name Minnith rang any bells, having ever heard of it myself. What they informed me is that he's been making inquiries into a certain market since arriving in Crossville. And what market would that be? Land prices in various locations throughout Crossville. Land prices. He's more like a real estate agent at this point. Why would a Quincy company employee even need that kind of information? It's because he's not a Quincy employee. The answer to that just might be the instrumental in helping us figure out Minnith's true objective here. You think so? It's certainly something worth considering. Incidentally, I may have discovered something else of note since we last saw one another. Huh? Harold, Chief Tota, could I ask that you help me find something in my office? At your office, Ian? I don't mind, but is it important? Well, it isn't substantial enough to prove anything in and of itself, but we may be able to use it as a final nail in the coffin once you've pinned Minnith down. You really got something like that up your sleeve, Grizzly Grim? Possibly, but we may not make it in time, so please don't wait for us. You ought to get to Amorica Village as quickly as you can. If Minnith is a criminal we think he is, then this plan could very well be in the final stages as we speak. I'm confident, however, that the evidence you have on hand will be enough for you to solve the case. Best of luck, SSS. Got it. Thanks, Mr. Grimwood. Okay, guys, off to Amorica Village. It's time to reveal Minnith's true colors and stop his phony deals dead in their tracks. Right. Okay. So apparently it's just all about to go down. Let's head to the garage. Yeah. Good old fast travel. We love it. There's that sinister music. Damn it. Did they already close the deal? U6 again. The special support section. Derek, Minnith. We have a few things we'd like to ask. What kind of agreements were you hoping to conduct today? Meddling in my affairs on my father's behalf again, are you? Please, Derek, there's no harm in answering their questions. After all, our plan has already been set into motion. And what do you mean by that? Right before you all arrived, Derek and I finished signing the requisite paperwork. In doing so, we have arranged to expand the operations of the lotus fields lent to me by the villagers. The Quincy Company will then take over the management of the fields. What? You signed away the rights to almost all of the village's agriculture. Is this really what you want, Derek? What are you talking about? Nothing's changing. I'm only transferring management of the fields to him. Yes, of course. It's quite simple, really. With my company harvesting the honey, we'll be able to streamline production of the candy. A temporary transfer of the land's rights to my company is a necessary first step to facilitate the process. What a crafty bastard. His scheme has reached its final phase, which means... Now then, Derek, I'll be delivering this contract to our main office. We'll be in touch come tomorrow. Look forward to good news. Shouldn't you just be arrested, like right now? Sounds great. I'll be waiting. Lloyd, we can't let him get away. Before you go, Minnith, we have a few more questions. Oh, and what might they be? Well, for starters, are you aware of the allegations leveled against you? The primary of which, of course, is suspicion of fraud. What? That's absurd. How dare you insult Minnith like that? Now, Derek, please calm yourself. Minnith? The special support section, was it? What could possibly make you suspect me of being a common criminal? Surely you have some manner of proof of your claim. That we do. Intriguing. Why don't you tell me about it then? But first, let me remind you that I am an imperial citizen. If it turns out that your allegations are indeed entirely baseless, I will do what I must. I will do what I must to right that indignity. I'm sorry. I will do what I must to right that indignity. Police officers, though you may be. That's fine with us. Lloyd, don't worry, Ellie. Let me handle this. Based on our investigation, there's no doubt in my mind that Minnith is guilty. I'm going to expose him as the fraud that he is and show Derek the truth. How very glib. If that's how you want to play this, then go right ahead. I'll answer anything you like. Well, your first question. Right, about your actions in Crossbell. There's a contradiction between what you said and what you've done. Could you please recount your actions for me? A contradiction. Very well, since arriving in Crossbell, I have been cooperating with Derek to advance our plans. Said plan will result in the formation of the American Honey Company, a subsidiary of the Quincy Company. I will specialize in producing candy made from the Amorca's high-quality honey. Combined with my company's acumen, it is a surefire success. The venture has already been approved by the city and is just about prepared to launch. Tell me, what is so contradictory about that? Well, everything. This plan is more like a charade from where I'm standing. Our investigation has uncovered a key discrepancy in what you just said. You see, Minnith. All right. The answer here is that the plan is underway. The records we looked into at the IBC reveal your mistake. You say this plan is prepared to launch. In reality, it hasn't actually made any progress at all. The IBC? What are you talking about? Consider this. If the Quincy Company truly did intend to go through with this plan at Crossbell, It would indeed, would need a loan from the IBC to fund the construction and development of the subsidiary. Well, yes, of course. I registered the company with the city and opened a corporate account. But that's as far as you went, isn't it? The account for the American Honey Company contained no more than the minimum balance required to open it. While we were told the exact amount, I would speculate that it's only in tens of thousands of mirror. Just how are you planning to build a factory and run a business with so little starting capital? You looked into my IBC account? This can't be true, can it, Minnith? Please, don't misunderstand, Derek. I never said there was any credence to the claim. This dude is like caught up already. I'm merely commenting on the audacity it takes to do something so invasive. They're cops, fool. Forget that. Explain why there's hardly any mirror in the account. Being an executive of the company, I must be especially judicious when moving money around. As such, I can't take out a loan on behalf of the Quincy Company. Of course, I will be securing one with the IBC once I receive permission from the main office. Oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. No, it does not. A debt evasion. Don't count us out just yet. I can tell Minnith is getting frustrated. If we continue to press him and pile on the evidence, we'll get him to crack. That look on your face tells me you have something more to ask. It just so happens that I do. This is taking way too long. That was far from my only point of contention about you, Minnith. You're still not satisfied? Don't let them rattle you, Derek. This will be a good opportunity for me to clear your mind of any and all doubt. Next, I'd like to ask you about you, Minnith. You say that you're an executive of the Quincy Company, but is that really true? Wait, what are you implying? Are you trying to tell me that Minnith isn't associated with the Quincy Company at all? That's what our evidence points to. He's laughing. Oh, goodness me. I didn't expect you to say something so outlandish. How about I show you my business card and employee ID? Those articles could easily be forged. Regardless, we have evidence that would supersede either of those. And we found it in the Quincy Company informational brochure. An informational brochure? Oh yeah, the one in Madam Ellie's room. We recorded the main points of the detective notebook. The brochure comes directly from the Quincy Company's main office, so there's no doubt as to its authenticity. What's more, there's a clear discrepancy between the contents and what you told us yesterday. What I told you. That's right. Something you mentioned made it clear to us that you aren't the executive you claim to be. And that was his dislike of sweets. Allow me to quote a statement from you made yesterday. Despite working for the company, I've never been one for sweets. Do you deny this fact? Lloyd, how exactly is that relevant? That's right. I don't care for sweets. What of it? Are you trying to say that someone who dislikes sweets couldn't possibly work for a confectionery company? A confectionery company in general may be, but not this one in particular. What are you on about? Who do you work for? The confectionery police department? This is what was written in the brochure. Prototypes are personally sampled by our executives, who, after many meetings, decide whether a product is worthy to go to market. Isn't that curious? What does that... Wait. It doesn't make sense that somebody like Minnith, who dislikes sweets, would be hired by a company like Quincy, not with a tradition like that. Wouldn't you agree? No, I never said I hated sweets. That's not going to work on us. You admitted to not liking them in this very conversation. How stupid do you think we are? God. So that raises the question, why would you lie about being an executive of the Quincy Company? It's simple. You intended to gain Derek's trust before ripping him off. This is the only deduction I can make based on the evidence. As for the confectioner seeking to make use of the Morocco's honey, the Quincy Company was merely a name and weight to it. One that Minnith threw around as a show of credibility. Minnith, what is the meaning of this? You tricked me? Derek, don't allow yourself to be deceived by these scoundrels. What'd you just call us? I mean, think about it for a second. Let's say, for argument's sake, I did come to a Morocco village for the purpose of founding a fraudulent honey company. If, I'm sorry, if that being the case, I had an ulterior motive in deceiving my very good friend Derek, then what was it? Why would I go through such ridiculous lengths? Because it's hundreds of thousands of dollars, fool. If you have no proof to back your claims, then you have no right to call me a fraud. You should arrest yourselves for slander. We do bear a burden of proof, as well as providing a viable motive. As far as the motive goes, I think I have a pretty good idea. What? I mean, pretty much seizing people's land. You got money tied up in that. Are you sure, Lloyd? I barely even started untangling everything that's going on here. Don't worry, I got this. Boy, in his bag right now. The person who pointed us in the right direction today also went to retrieve the final piece of evidence we need. The last piece of the puzzle that I oust Minnith once and for all. Quit with the mumbling. If you have something to say, then out with it. With pleasure. You went to all these lengths to seize this village with a goal in mind. Seizing land rights, yep. Your true objective here is obtaining the land rights to a Morocco village itself. What? A trader we know, named Harold Hayworth, gave us some information about you. Immediately after arriving in Crossville, you, Minnith, started looking into land prices throughout the state. If you were employed by the Quincy Company in search of new business ventures, this would make no sense. So why do it? I can only think of one possibility. Seizing land was your aim from the very start. It was. Of all the outrageous schemes, there's more to it. A Morocco village is surrounded by scenic beauty, making it a high-value location. Suppose the deeds were sold to a third party as a prime real estate for a villa resort. How much mirror do you think they would go for? Talking about millions. Yep. Land like this, I would estimate somewhere in the tens of millions of mirror. That said, I don't think the villagers would ever agree to such an arrangement. Exactly. That's what made this whole fraudulent ruse, painstaking as it was, a necessity. Now, if we assume your motive is to obtain land itself, your actions become that much more clear. First, you obtain the rights to the Lotus fields, the farmland, and the village's private property. Then, under the pretext of returning to your company's main office, you vanish from the Crossbell entirely. Finally, you sell the deeds on the black market and pocket a healthy sum of mirror their worth. That, Minnith, has been your plan the entire time. Minnith, I can't believe what I'm hearing. Alright, so somebody showed up. Is that? Yes, it is. Thank goodness. It looks like we made it in time. Derek, father, Mr. Hayworth, aren't you from Mr. Grimwood's office? I'm his assistant, Pete. He would have come himself, but he had to get back to drafting the Constitution. Did you come with the evidence? That we did. Ian said this would prove to be a useful insurance. You're all going to want to take a look at this. Pete produced a photograph for everyone to see. It was of a man, looked like a merchant, with the same face as Minnith. The man in this picture is... Why do you have this? A reporter Mr. Grimwood knew in the Empire gave this to him a long time ago. However, the name on the photo, in this photo, Isn't Minnith, it's Rittner. Yeah, so this is the guy. Rittner. I feel like we heard that name recently. I remember. It's the name of the man who stole that Erebonian Baron's land. The one Mr. Grimwood told us about. Oh yeah, that dude. That's right. I asked Ian about it again, and he said there's no mistaking it. Well, this is a plot twist I wasn't expecting. Lloyd, why don't you do Minnith the honors? Tell him the only thing this photo could mean. With pleasure. The reason the man before us, Minnith, and the man in the photo, Rittner, look identical is because they're twins. Let's say they're twins. No. They're the same person. Minnith and Rittner are one and the same. The only explanation. And it's because they're the same person that their MOs are such a close match. Mr. Grimwood came to the same conclusion. This man must have swindling down to an exact orbital science. You're a crook, Minnith. As such, you'll be charged with attempted fraud. Shit, attempted fraud? What about the other case? This is, of course, on top of the fraud you all previously committed in Erebonia. I can only guess how many skeletons we'll find in your closet once we get done with you. I would very much like to hear all of the details in the department interrogation room. You, damn you. I'm a professional. My work must be flawless. You meddlesome brats. Minnith? Is he gonna take out a gun? Don't get too full of yourselves yet. You may have won this time, but I won't be apprehended so easily. What? Come, my lovely beast. Get the fuck out of here. Bro had like 5 big ass cats in the back. I'm done. This game is funny as shit. Monsters. They appear to be well trained too. These cougars, don't freaking tell me. No. Derek? Chief Tulsa, it's too dangerous. Do you have any idea what you're doing? I know precisely what I'm doing, hence why I'm doing it. Oh, and don't even think for a second about trying to fight me. That is, unless you don't value the lives of Derek and the villagers. We'll get his ass later. Now step aside, if you would. Boy had a plan. Cougars with big ass blades in their mouths, basically from Jaegers. Fare thee well, for we shall never meet again. Too funny. This is why they need a gun. Shoot his ass. Or like Ellie right there with a big ass gun. Shoot his ass. Like, dump off. Damn it. We can't let him escape. After him. Alright. Get in the car. That's what we got the car for. Y'all just stand there. The car's right there. No. He managed to get away. I've never been so frustrated. I can't believe a spineless coward like him gave us a slip. At least none of the villagers were hurt. Let's look at the silver lining. What a mess. If we come across him again, he won't be so lucky. For now, though, let's regroup with Chief Tulsa and the villagers so we can report what's happened. This is retarded. Yeah, that's a good idea. All of that just to stand there and like just watch him drive away and you got a car right there. It's ridiculous. I can't thank you all enough for what you've done today. It is no exaggeration to say that you saved the village from the clutches of that con man. Though he still got away in the end. Yes, but now the department knows to keep a lookout for him. It should be only a matter of time before he's caught. Derek, I made a grave mistake, and I put everyone through so much trouble just so they could fix it. I let that man rope me into his scheme, and it nearly cost us all our livelihoods. Don't be so hard on yourself. You're not the one who's guilty. Wrong. It's my fault completely. No two ways about it. I was so desperate to fix and reform Amorica that I ignored my father and I almost drove it into the ground instead. I have no right to become the next village chief. I agree. That is where you're wrong. Father, I've been so stuck on old ways that I never tried to hear your proposals for what they were. I've known the village will go under if we maintain our current course, and yet I've done nothing. It is my inaction that drove you to this. Thus, I must bear a large scale of responsibility for letting it happen. That's very admirable, Chief Tolton. Thanks to this crisis, I finally realized where I went wrong. The welfare of this village cannot hinge entirely on the ideology of a single stubborn old man. So instead, Derek, I would ask that you provide me your input as well. We will each contribute our ideas and discuss them with the villagers. That is the only way we can ensure a future of Amorica. You're right. I'm so sorry, Father. From here on out, I'm going to dedicate myself to the betterment of this village. I'm happy the two of you were able to reconcile. Same. Makes almost losing your whole village to some crook worth it, wouldn't you say? Put a sock in it, Wazzy. Learn how to read the room. I'm really sorry about him, I swear. We tried everything. At any rate, we owe you all an enormous debt. So allow me to express my thanks once more. I also owe my gratitude to Mr. Grimwood. It's a shame he couldn't be here. I'll pass your thanks on to Mr. Grimwood and let him know what happened. Even if I only played a minor role, I'm glad I could be of assistance. I look forward to our continued partnership, Chief Tolton. Same to you, Harold. If you could, keep a lookout for Minnith, just in case he returns. And of course, you can always contact the SSS if you ever need of our assistance. Hopefully, it'll never be for anything related to this ordeal again. We'll be sure to keep you in mind. I get the feeling this is not over with, though. I don't know. I just do. We'll see, but I don't know. Man, what a very long-winded ass quest. Real talk. Let's head on back. I think the next one we gotta go to the airport or something like that. There we go. Got a true gladiator belt. Let's see what that one is. They've been getting better and better, but okay, he got the headband. Let's see. It's a minus 50 though. Sheesh. It's a plus 50 on it. Oh man. They're killing me with this shit. It's a minus 50 to the It'd get his damage over 9 though. Would take his defense down drastically. Good lord, man. Had to get him to 880. About where Randy is. Could drastically help him though. He does have the Invigorate quartz. Speed is the best thing that he has going for him. But he really doesn't. Man, this is tough. It's definitely valuable, I feel. The plus defense there helps. Yeah, Randy's just the best person to put it on right now. Tell you what, I'm gonna just look through it. I'll figure it out off screen. I'm gonna end here. I'm sorry that quest was extremely long. I did not plan on that quest taking up the whole video, but it fucking did. Like it was a long ass quest. But thank you all for rocking with me. I appreciate everybody checking out the vids as always. If you are new to the channel, tap that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.